And we are back. Pokemon Emerald Hardcore Nuzlocke. We have come to the fourth member of the Elite Four Drake. We lost our Cradily to the second member. We have five Pokemon still intact. And this is it. This is our seventh attempt. We chuck out Petalburg, the Duckling, the Ludicolo, and we cheese the Shelgon with a Protect as it cheeses us with a Protect. I just wanted to keep one of our Ice Beam moves alive, but it doesn't even matter. It ends the same just as it began, and the Shelgon falls. So we have a 4 times super effective Ice Beam on most of these Pokemon, plus the Never Melt to Ice to kind of push us over the edge just in case it's not enough. As we tank a super effective Aerial Ace, no problem. The Altaria goes down. So it's 2 down, only 3 to go. And yet again, another Kingdra. Juan and Drake are in cahoots here. He knows what the Kingdra did to me last time. So now we have to think about this. This Kingdra does not have Ice Beam. However, it's got a really clean Dragon Dance Body Slam strategy that is very scary. It also has Smoke Screen that it likes to evade us with instead of the double team. So we've got to watch out for that. We're just going to go for a Giga Drain to get some health back and see how much that does. And the paralysis comes down. So very unfortunate. And now we're going to have to roll everything on the fact that we are not going to get paralyzed. And we do. Another Body Slam comes down and we are in trouble. Kingdra also has Surf, but that's much less of an issue than the silly Body Slam, especially if he gets some Dragon Dance in there as well. So we're still at 80 HP. We might be able to get off a Giga Drain to get some reprieve, but this is not looking great. Just one paralysis and just throws our entire game plan off. That means the Ice Beam for the Salamence is potentially off the table, as well as the Flygon in the back. So we've got to think about that because no one else can really deal with them like the Ludicolo can. So very unfortunate. We check out the 4-3. We do not get paralyzed. We are a very beefy tank. We are Littlefoot from the Land Before Time. And we do have Magical Leaf, which can go through the evasion of Smokescreen, but a Dragon Dance comes down, and we're just going to see how much this does off the top, and that's not a lot. So we're going to need some growth or something to compensate for that damage, but the withdraw from Drake comes down, and the Salamence comes out to play. And what is this next level strat as we growth for nothing as the big scary dragon is here? The fact that Drake did that after Dragon Dancing is just next level. Like, it really is. And it's not like this run isn't hard enough. So we're really going to have to figure out what in the world we are doing here, as the Duckling is the moneymaker against the Salamence. But I think we're just going to roll it all on a Body Slam. Honestly, cripple the Salamence with a paralysis and try to go from there. Fortree's going to have to tank a Flamethrower right out the gate, and that is brutal. That is some brutal damage, but we do get the roll. We do get the Hail Mary paralysis matching the Kingdra. And at this point, what do? Do you chuck out any of these guys into a Flamethrower? The only one that can potentially tank that is Petalburg, who is bleeding out with paralysis. So this is just a nightmare. It really is. This run is just making me so stressed and tired and feel like I'm getting old by the second. And we're gonna check out our starter Sceptile in the face of a paralyzed dragon, and that is a terrifying prospect. But we do have the super effective Dragon Claw. Is it enough? It brings it into a good spot here, but the Citrus Berry for reprieve. That means if we can't kill it here, it's going to get the full restore and lose our paralysis, and it holds on with 1 HP. What is this mindless violence as a Flamethrower comes down? At least it didn't crit or burn, but my god, what is this? And now do we use the healing turn to swap out Littleroot, or do we rain down a Dragon Claw hoping we can double tap and get a crit? I don't know. I'm not sure. That's honestly what we probably should do. Looking at this is just roll the Dragon Claws. I think we should just roll the Dragon Claws, but I am terrified, and we might swap into Slateport to try to set up a Sleep Powder. Rustboro still does have the bulk up return strategy. It's just if they wake up from that Sleep Powder too soon, it is over. If we throw out the Ludicolo and he is paralyzed, it is over. Like, we are on the precipice. We are on the brink right here. If we don't have enough options going into Wallace, we will lose the run. So much is riding on this. We're going to try to pivot to the Vileplume as the Salamence gets a beautiful full restore. Drake missed the memo. We're not supposed to be using items in battle. He does not care. He has never cared. And the Flamethrower comes down. We protect cheese that junk. Another Flamethrower comes down. And that is so much damage coming from the pseudo legendary. Good golly. But we do clutch the Sleep Powder. And now we are all in. The only healthy member left is Rustboro the Breloom. The only other option is the Duckling, and while the Salamence is sleeping, can we sneak an Ice Beam off? This is it. No paralysis. Petalburg, you absolute monster. You dancing duckling in the rain, come here. Absolutely. So now the Salamence is gone. That was such a Hail Mary. Kingdra comes down, floating at half HP. We're back into the same position here. We might need to do something. We might need to stall out, but if he just Dragon Dances into oblivion, we are absolutely screwed. So we can either go for Giga Drain for Reprieve and see where that lands us. Maybe we can get Kingdra low enough to where we chuck out Sceptile. I don't know. The Giga Drain comes down and it gets Kingdra into the red, but does Drake have another heal for him? I'm pretty sure he does. If not, it's going to be right there. But the Ludicolo doing work, the Giga Drain actually getting off, and now we are a little bit less, but Kingdra is less HP as well. This paralysis is just everything. It really is. I maybe should have given Petalburg a paralysis berry instead of the Never Melts Ice, but we could have ended up in a tough situation if we didn't one-shot with the Ice Beam. So it's really tough to understand that. And the heal comes down on top of a paralysis, which is just brutal, but we do sneak and protect in to see what he's going for. And he goes for a Dragon Dance, and I am tossing this into next week. What am I doing with my life? The Kingdra is full health on a +1/+1. I don't think Drake has any more heals. He could, but I could be wrong. And now we are in so much trouble. We are in so much trouble. The only one that can take anything is Rustboro. Maybe go all in for a Leech Seed, chuck the Leech Seed down, and that way when we do swap around and cheese, we can get some heal up. We do have Moonlight and Protect on Slateport. We could completely cheese this potentially. The Body Slam comes down, no paralysis, no crit. Beautiful stuff. We're going all in for a Leech Seed, but the Body Slam comes down. We hold on with 36 HP, and I have lost my absolute marbles at this point. We are playing with fire. We are in the fire. We are burning alive, but can we get the water? Can the rain come down and put out the flames? And we have set the Leech Seed up, but that does necessitate someone living, someone tanking something. And if we lose Rustboro, we lose our main sweeping option for Wallace. And I don't know if I can do that. If anything, we need the Breloom. I think Breloom is probably the most important Pokemon going into the next fight, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong so much this run. I've been wrong so much in all of these runs, but can we be right one time, one moment, one dream? And Slateport could be the one. The Vileplume comes down, because if we throw out Vileplume and we live, we can use Moonlight and Protect and cheese all the way. So that, I think, is what we're going to do. We have some really nice bulk. We could also pivot into Fortree, maybe tank something there. Little Root, I think, is dead. Petalburg might be able to live one, but that paralysis is everything. So we are really weighing our options here. I have not been put into situations like this since my very first runs on the channel, when I had no clue what I was doing. And this is just some very weird nostalgia of, wow, I am putting myself in these ridiculous situations. But the Kingdra gets a little bit greedy for a Dragon Dance there, and honestly, I will take that, because this is going to be a little bit scary, but it lets us live on 70 HP instead of getting hit by that Body Slam coming in. We could have got paralyzed there, as well as a third Dragon Dance comes down. The Kingdra wants it all. He is in his throne. He is in the driver's seat, but we get a nice cheese on the Protect. Even though, oh my god, 23 HP, 23 HP, the Protect Moonlight teases in full effect, and look at that heal, look at that monumental heal on top of the Leech Seed chipping away. This could be everything. The Protect comes down, swapping in between the Moonlight and Protect could be our saving grace. Slateport heals from the Leech Seed. The Kingdra is getting chipped away. The throne is being dismantled. Can we cheese? Can we be the one? If we get crit or paralyzed, this could spell disaster, but we hold on. The Vileplume holds. The Moonlight comes down, and we heal all the way back to full with the Leech Seed, and that's going to open the door for the Protect not to fail us. We're using it every other turn. And if Drake does not have a heal, the Kingdra is gonna fall to the ultimate Leech Seed Protect Moonlight strat cheese. And I am gonna say, get wrecked, sir, as you are trying to take everything dear to me. And the team is crying, the team is bleeding out, and I am losing all sanity as the Kingdra goes for a +4 Dragon Dance. He's gonna go for the one-shot Body Slam right here onto the Vileplume. He's sick and tired of it, but we still have Protect in the back kitchen. Let's go. Body Slam is blocked for the last time, and the Leech Seed that the Breloom chucked out with everything he had left is enough to take down the Kingdra. And now we have the Flygon. This Flygon does have Flamethrower, so we are going to chuck all of the powder. We're going to chuck all of the sleep powder at him as we take the Flamethrower, and we do live just above half, which is absolutely glorious. We might be able to cheese that as well, and this is insanity. And I do believe we are going to cheese this. I think we are just going to abuse the Flygon. We are going to flip back and forth between the same exact thing we did, the Moonlight and the Protect, the Moonlight and Protect, just to use up the PP of the Flygon. But first, before we lean into that final strat, we are going to throw out Littleroot and see if we can get one Dragon Claw down, see how much damage, maybe a potential 2-shot onto the Flygon. It is going to be a 2-shot, but the Flygon wakes up from its slumber and snipes our starter from Littleroot to Drake. Goodbye. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to have to do something here. Fortree cannot tank a flamethrower. We are going to be slower than Flygon. Petalburg potentially can live on a flamethrower since it's neutral, but really it's going to have to be Slateport, and thankfully we don't have to swap in anybody because the Sceptile falls. It opens the door to a clean swap, so that is the only benefit of actually losing a Pokemon in this situation. Rustboro is going to be too slow as well. It's going to die upon the swap in, so I think all of our hopes and dreams rest on the Vileplume. Who would have thought that this run would be so centered on a Vileplume? You go and catch the Oddish and you're like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is everything. So we send out Slateport, get another Protect in. We have the Protect Moonlight Cheese. I think my thought process here is just use up all of these flamethrowers, because if it doesn't have flamethrower, it can't nuke any of us, and we might be able to cheese something. However, we do have to tank that one. We get a monumental Moonlight, and now we can potentially cheese this. We don't have the sleep powder, but we are just getting rid of all of the flamethrower TMs or power points, what I'm even saying at this point. The flamethrower comes down, and as long as it doesn't crit, we are inching our way out of crit range, which is absolutely everything. Look how much Moonlight heals. That is incredible. What an absolute move for a hardcore Nuzlocke. The Protect comes down, and it's beautiful because when you're healing with the Moonlight, it resets the Protect, so it's never gonna fail, which is glorious. On top of that, it heals for so much as the Moonlight comes down again, and the Flygon is slowly losing ground as Slateport is getting into a safer space. And I do believe this is going to open the door just to slap the Flygon with the Petal Dance because of how low our Sceptile managed to get it. I think we're going to be just fine here as we continue to toy with the Flygon, and I'm speeding up here. We're just going to use up Protect, use up Moonlight until there's nothing left, and now it's all or nothing. We can either try to Sleep Powder and swap into someone who can finish off the Flygon, or take it into our hands with Slateport and see if she can finish the job with the Petal Dance. Looking at the health bar, I think we can do that. I think we can absolutely do it, but for some reason I get risky for the Sleep Powder, but we land because Slateport's an absolute monster, and now we have more room just in case Flygon doesn't die to the first one. It does not die to the first one, so the Sleep Powder was actually perfect because we would have walked in and we might have died to the flamethrowers. Absolute calculation. We barely squeak out of Drake's fight. We have 4 Pokemon against Wallace. Take a timeout, and this is the end. It's going to be 4 of our Pokemon versus 6 of Wallace's. This is insanity. We have the Breloom for the sweep, and I just come into this fight so terrified. Again, this is our 7th attempt. We've never made it this far, and I would hate to lose to the champion. I've lost the champion many times before, and I want it all. So here we go. We send out Ludicolo, and the plan is to literally stall this magnificent whale until it's got nothing left. So we've got Double Edge, Blizzard, Rain Dance, and Water Sport. I don't want to risk any Water Sport crits or any Double Edge crits, so right off the bat, we are completely cheesing this Wailord between Rest and Protect. I do try to chip him with Surf, but then we get a critical hit, so I get too nervous there. We don't want to mess with that, especially in the rain, as that's going to do double damage. So we don't want to accidentally kill the Wailord and then let the plan go to waste. So we have Rest. We're just cheesing that. We just need these 5 Blizzards gone, and I do believe that's the 3rd one already, so going really well there. And the other problem is if we use up all of its power points and then it goes into Struggle, I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work. Can Struggle critical hit through all of the bulk ups that we want to do with Breloom? I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to keep protecting, we're going to keep resting, and I kid you not, I'm here for like 5, 6, 7 minutes, so I'm just going to keep cheesing, and we're going to fast forward until we nuke this Wailord of all of its power, all of its points, and Petalburg just continues to tank. We don't get one-shot crit by anything crazy, and the Rain Dish ability keeps healing us in the rain, so let's fast forward and get to the juicy stuff. Okay, we are running low on Rest and Protect, and I just said we didn't get crazy crit or anything, but when I used Rest, we get crit by the double edge, which is the whole reason why we're doing this. So the Breloom doesn't fall to that fate as well, because we need the Breloom to be as healthy as possible. We saw with our Cacturne how we got sniped, but I am willing to risk it all for our dancing duck in the rain here. And we wake up. I believe that was the third or fourth turn we were asleep. So it was a high chance we'd protect and block the final double edge, and we are faster. So we get one more rest, and this Wailord on that moment is out of his double edge, he's out of his blizzard, and all he has left is Rain Dance and maybe one or two water spouts. So beautiful stuff here, and now we are just going to work our way methodically. We're going to throw out the Vileplume, and we're going to try to cut down on the whale's ability to hurt himself and struggle, because if the whale is sleeping soundly, he cannot hurt himself and he can't hurt us. So that is the long con. We've used basically everything that this Ludicolo has to offer. It's been a very long, hard battle. You are feeling the fatigue in this complete stall out mission, but here we go. We have paved the way, and we're either going to throw in Rustboro first for a potential Leech Seed or get the Slate Port in there, and I think that is what we are going to do. So the Rain Dance fails. Wailord is running out of options here. The Sleep Powder does miss, which is unfortunate, but here is the struggle that literally does hardly any damage, and we clutch the Sleep Powder on the second try, which is just glorious. It's everything you ever wanted it to be. We've lost so much on our way here. We've lost half of our encounters, but here Rustboro comes in, and the wake up on the next turn is super unfortunate. So we can either swap back into Vileplume and try to get some sleep, or we can just wing it and just go for it all here, because if we swap back in, it's going to be essentially two more struggles. So I think we just go for it all, and it's going to be super tough because Petalburg's still asleep and only has Giga Drain to his name at this point. So we're just going to go for it. This is it. We are just going for it all. We get one bulk up, and that is going to block the struggle, as it is a normal type move hitting for physical type damage as I can't even talk anymore. The struggle comes down, but we get another bulk up in. That is essentially 3 bulk ups, and we're looking really good. But at this point, we need to be healthier. So as we bulk up, let's get the Leech Seed in there and let's heal that back. Let's do this and let the Wailord struggle. Just let him do his thing. And I don't think Wallace is going to heal him on this second time through, but that's okay. We're just going to bulk up and look at how much healing that Leech Seed does in comparison to the struggle, especially since we're getting more and more defense, and that is counteracting the ramping up of the struggle, which is really nice. So this is actually working out beautifully, and Rustboro is able to get back to full HP against all odds, or basically full HP here. We are full 158 out of 158. One final bulk up comes down. The Wailord struggles for the last time. We get one more Leech Seed, and I do believe we are going to let this whale take its final rest. We're going to go in with the return. It has the Silk Scarf, Insanity High, physical attack stat. We have talked about this. We have said this more and more, but the Milotic comes down, and in FlygonHG's video, he went for a return and was slower than the Milotic, so he got hit with the Toxic. So I try to be a big brain strat and go with the Mach Punch +6, and Milotic still lives. On top of that, Milotic doesn't get the heal, and it reveals to us that we were faster anyway, so we eat the Toxic for nothing. The miscalculation. I am just a babbling buffoon at this run. I am not clutch. I am not the one, but Rustboro says, hold on, Chief, we got this. I'm going in. The Tentacruel is probably the scariest Pokemon on Wallace's team, as it has Stab, super effective Poison, as well as super effective Ice Beam with a busted speed stat, as our Rustboro, our Breloom from the beginning, fades away with a return and is gonna succumb to the Toxic. Absolutely brutal stuff. If we didn't get hit by that Toxic, we would have won right there, as we would have just returned on Ludicolo and returned on Gyarados, and that would have been all she wrote. But the silly Milotic completely dishevels us, completely throws us off our course, and now we're going to have to completely cheese this Ludicolo once again. Now, thankfully, Ludicolo's got the Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Surf, and Double Team combo, so it is super annoying, but we don't care. He really can't hurt any of our grass types, which is the beauty of this. So I will take that, but the double team is going to be so annoying, and all I want to do is completely use up all of his moves. There's the Surf, no problem. We have a ton of healing still on the Vileplume, as we've seen, and really, we're just going to get Fortree out there. We're going to get the Tropius, and the only damaging move that he can do is Giga Drain and Surf, which is just going to do pitiful damage. However, if I get crit with the Fortray with the Flying Tropius, then I'm going to get really nervous, as it might open the door for Gyarados to do something with like Dragon Dance and Hyper Beam. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we've got this in the bag. I'm just playing so cautious. Again, there's just so much on the line. I don't want to lose it all, as the Vileplume is laughing at the Ludicolo as he is trying to get some surfs down there. But really, I just want this Ludicolo to run out of surf so that it can't hit that much damage onto the Tropius. So if Ludicolo only has Giga Drain and Leech Seed left, then it won't be able to do anything. And as far as the double team cheese goes, Tropius has the Magical Leaf, which can see through accuracy. So that's really the game plan. He runs out of Surf. We're going to get Tropius back out there, and it's just going to have nothing. It's literally going to have Double Team and Giga Drain to his name, which does literally nothing. We are just going to growth into oblivion here. And the Leech Seed doesn't even affect us because we are a grass type, which is really nice. Growth on top of growth on top of growth on top of growth. It's not going to be enough to kill the Ludicolo, but that is fine. Leech Seed does not affect. We go in for the 2-tap. I did not have a ton of special attack on the Tropius. He ended up being more of a bulky tank, but it's okay. Everything's fine. The final Pokemon, Gyarados, comes down. This was not the most tactical. This was not the most well-deserved run, but my gosh, we fade away with a second Magical Leaf, and we finally end this run only using Grass-type Pokemon Emerald with the hardcore Nuzlocke slant. I am tired, I am broken, but we walk away with 4 Pokemon still intact. This was for the Cacturne, this was for the Shiftry, this was for the Sceptile, and this was for the Forgotten Cradily that died to Phoebe. Well done. Rest easy, guys. And as far as this run goes, we did it. It took me 7 tries, but my goodness, I will take it. There's so much learning to be had from this run and for monologues in general. We're going to have to take that to heart and do better on the next time around. But as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I will catch you on the flip. Peace.